Jornel, ever been to Hawaii before? This is a little bit of a different feel, right, for your fight week?
Oh yeah, definitely. I like it so far. Usually most places that we go to, we can't go outside and do things out there, because we're so isolated in an area. But over here, we're in a hot spot. So much things to do around here. So far, this is the best place I've come to fight.
Is that a little bit of a tease though too? Because you're like, man, I'm here for work, but at the same time, I'm in one of the biggest vacation spots in the world.
Well, I get an extra 2 days, so after the fight's done, it'll turn into a vacation.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the business at hand here. The obviously a big opportunity, perhaps the biggest opportunity that you've had in Bellator so far. So when you started to see guys kind of fall out of the Grand Prix and did the wheels start churning, where's my call?
Come on, God's working. I wasn't even supposed to be in the tournament, obviously. So for me to get in, 2 people had to fall out, not 1, but 2. And that happened. Look, the fact that I'm even ranked, I'm 8-0. I'm not supposed to even be ranked, but I just so happen to have more fights in Bellator than most of these other guys like Brett Johns, Danny Sabatello, Barzola. These guys are veterans and they're not ranked. But because I've been here for so long, I had 5 fights, I was ranked. So this whole thing is nothing but God, in my opinion.
And do you ever kind of take a step back and reflect? I remember at Mohegan Sun during the pandemic, there was that you and Sutho had that fight, and you've been told beforehand that the winner was going to get a Bellator contract, and now here you are in the tournament. Is it crazy to kind of see how quickly this is all unfolded?
Yeah, and it seems like every single fight is a step up. From getting into Bellator to my first fight in Bellator, then my first fight on the main card, then my first fight in a different country, now a fight to get me in the tournament. It's always a step up, so I'm glad it's working out this way because it keeps me hungry. Every time I fight, it keeps me motivated. I'm not just okay, this is just another random fight. No, it's always something more on the line, so I like that.
Yeah, and I think from your last couple of performances, everybody walked away saying okay, it's time for a step up. It's time for Jornel to kind of start facing these top contenders. Do you feel like you found one in Danny Sabatello that this might be your toughest test to date?
On paper, I think he is, but I think people are judging him too much on paper. If you watch him fight and you break down his skill set, I don't think he's my toughest fight on paper. No, I don't think he is, no.
And I guess the big thing about him, obviously, is his grappling, his wrestling. People have trouble getting him off them. So how do you do something differently? How are you the guy to get him to not do that?
Number one, most people don't even try to get him off them. They hug on to him and they hold him onto them. That's number one. And then the people who do try to get up, like Brett Johns, great fighter. I like Brett Johns. He just didn't have the correct tool set to get up properly. So I don't think no one's actually tried to get up properly against him. We haven't even seen it. So I guess if he gets me down, we're going to find out what an actual get up's supposed to look like.
And I think a lot of time with these tournaments, usually, we don't have these play-in sort of opportunities, these play-in rounds like you're in. So you already kind of have a date, if you were to win this fight, you already know when your next fight is. So is there anything in your mind I got to walk away from this unscathed because, I got to make a quick turnaround? Nah.
Actually, I feel like when I'm too healthy, I start trusting in my own abilities, and it's a quick way to get ego boost. So I feel like it's even better when you have little injuries, you have things that are bothering you, because then you have to trust in God even more. For me, I feel like that's where I thrive even more, being kind of hurt.
And perhaps in your your regional career before Bellator, you had somebody that liked to get inside people's heads, but he's kind of a trash talker. I'm sure he's going to try to say something to you at weigh-ins, all that stuff. Do you enjoy that? Is it something that fires you up at all, or are you just kind of cool-headed across the board?
Yeah, I don't mind the competitiveness. I don't mind competitive. Nothing about what he's doing bothers me in that sense, but it's just what bothers me about him is the things that he does say, and his arrogance, his pride, and the fact that he thinks everyone around him sucks when there's giant holes in his own game. But being competitive and all that, no, that's good. That's a sport we're in. We're in a competitive sport. We're about to fight. We're about to get in a ring and potentially kill each other. Somebody could die in there, So that's just competitive. That's good. That's how it's supposed to be.
Next question from Woods.
Hi, this is According to Woods from bodyslam.net. And I'm not going to let you take me out of this, because Danny's last win over Brett Johns and then your last win over, Brian Moore, these are 2 collision courses. You two are 2 collision courses heading in. So what are we going to see out of you, Mr. Lugo, come this weekend?
Well, I think the good thing about the way I fight is you don't know what you're going to see out of me. You had to ask me that question because you're not positive exactly what I'm going to do. Well, you really can't ask Danny that because you know exactly what he's going to come to do. He's coming in there to shoot low and to try to hold on to me the whole time. But with me, you never know what I'm going to do. You know, I might go in there and wrestle. I might go in there and stand. I might move around a lot. I might walk you down. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do, but I think it's a good thing that you even have to ask me that question.
Next question from Kobe.
Hey, Kobe from the Pro Sports Podcasters. We've talked about this a few times already, but I know anyone who follows you on social media knows you've got very little respect for Danny Sabatello. You're known for being very calm, very cool, very collected in the cage. Could this be the first time we see you get a little emotional?
Well, I keep saying that what I'm talking about on the outside has nothing to do with the fight itself. The things that I'm saying about him being arrogant, and I don't think he's a good person, he's a bad influence, these things stand separate to the fight. Even after we fight, after I win, I still have these opinions, and I still don't think he's a good person, and he's still not somebody that I would want to see prosper in this sport outside of the fight, you know. And obviously, if he changes his ways, then then that'll be good, and I would like to see him do well. But at this point, I don't want to see him do well, and it has nothing to do with the fight. Whether he was nice to me, like Brian Moore was super nice to me. Keith Lee was super nice to me. Me and him had a long conversation before we fought. Same thing with Cass Bell. We had conversation before we fought, and I'm still going to come in there and be super focused and give it everything I got to make sure I get the win. This guy, obviously, I don't like the guy, but when we get in the ring, nothing's going to change. I'm still going to perform in a smart manner and make sure I get the job done correctly.
Next question from Dylan.
What's up, Jornel? Looking good in that cap sweater. You traveled to Dublin your last bout. You're in Hawaii for this fight. How would it feel if you were to win this fight to head to Connecticut June 24th to fight where you trained for so long in Waterbury, Connecticut?
I fought there too many times already, man. I don't want to go back to Connecticut. I fought like 3 or 4 times there. You know, I like that casino. It's nice, but you know, it's fun to go to Ireland, to go to Hawaii, to go to different places that you've never been before, and just be able to see new things. You know, so you know, it's a business trip though at the end of the day. But I won't be having an extra 2 days when I go to Connecticut.
Yeah. And you've done a lot of interviews in the last couple of weeks leading up to this fight with Danny, one with me, a lot with a couple other people. Do you like that part of the fight game, talking to the media, doing these interviews and whatnot?
I don't like to do it on a lot of different days. I think that I don't like to have to keep remembering that I have to do interviews. I like if I can knock them out like this, a bunch of them at a time. So if I had like a 2 days of a lot of interviews, I like it better that way. But I don't like scattered random interviews because that's not at the top of my list of things to do. You know, I'm not like, oh, I got an interview, you know. So I like them when I can get them done all at once, kind of.
Next question from Sayed.
Hey, Jornel, how you doing?
How's it going?
Yeah, good, man. I'm just wondering, you mentioned God's name for your successes. So I'm just wondering, how much of a role does faith play in your life, Jornel?
Oh, it's everything for me, man. Without my faith, I wouldn't be here. You know, here's something. A lot of times in the world, people have confidence and animals have confidence because they're the stronger one or the faster one. For example, if you have a bear versus a coyote, the bear has confidence. If you have 3 wolves versus 1 wolf, the 3 wolves have confidence because they're the bigger number or the bigger animal. And that's really similar to how humans are. Humans have 2 different types of confidence. You have one kind of confidence where you're stronger or you're faster than someone, so you know you're going to win. And that's what gives you confidence. And then you have another kind of confidence where you're kind of delusional, where you lie to yourself and tell yourself that you're stronger or you're faster than someone, but really it's not true. But you have confidence still because you believe that. And then you have what I believe is the right way to be, humility. And humility is when you put your trust in God, not in your own abilities. So if I look across that ring and I see somebody who claims to be the best, I'm not worried that he's the best. He might be better than me, but I have God on my side. And I think that's what makes all the difference. So you won't be hearing me claim that I'm the best in the world, but you will keep hearing me say that God is with me.